This is LOA Recon with Good Vibe Coach Jeanette Ma, where we explore the ins and outs of conscious creation to manifest our favorite dreams come true. Let's have some fun together. Welcome and thank you for joining me for another episode. This one might be a little bit longer than usual, so I'll just say up front what it's about. The essence of this story is when we're going through the checklist of actions to take in order to create the outcomes that we want, let's not forget the most important item on that list, which is lining it up first. So if you use YouTube the way I do, the way many do, in fact, have you heard of the 4 Kolbe types? There's the quick start, the implementer, the follow-througher, whatever that one's called, and the fact finder. Okay, fact finder, that's me. I like to do research. I like to study my options. I want to know all the possibilities available before I choose, which means I'm the kind of person who will shop at all the stores, maybe even twice, before making a big purchase decision. I remember when I was furnishing a new house with my long-ago boyfriend. Oh my gosh, I was so horrified when we walked through the door of the furniture store. We had not even been there 10 minutes. He basically had just looked around at everything he could see within eyesight of the front door. And when a salesperson approached, he pointed, "This couch, those lamps, that table at our first store." I was like, oh, you got to be kidding me, buddy. We're going to walk this entire floor, probably twice, to get some ideas, and then we're going to go to at least 3 more stores before I even begin to have a hint of what we're taking home. Which is exactly what we did. We drove to all the places and looked at all the things, and we ended up with pretty much everything he had picked out in the first 5 minutes of our shopping. But the point is, I didn't feel really good about it until I had considered all the options. Maybe it's a Libra thing, I don't know. But also, I love furniture shopping. Why would we want to cut that short? We don't get to do it every day. Let's have some fun with it. At least it was fun for me. Anyway, I'm saying I go to YouTube or Reddit or a Facebook group for information when I've got a subject I'm not familiar with. I like to go pick the brains of the people who know. If I don't already know, I know someone else does, and I can get their expertise and get way further up on the learning curve in just a matter of minutes. So that's what I did when it was time for me to figure out how to give this broody hen some babies. I talked about this before. She was trying so hard to hatch unfertilized eggs, and I didn't just have the heart to shut down her party. So that's why I was watching videos and reading threads and asking around among my chicken friends for best practices on hooking a hen up. That's how I ultimately decided against my current boyfriend's idea, which his suggestion was, let's just get her some fertilized eggs to sit on. But after doing all my research, I decided, no, that's not ideal for a variety of reasons, including if you just get fertilized eggs, you're going to end up with some roosters. That didn't seem ideal. Also, she would have to sit on those fertilized eggs for 3 weeks in order to hatch them, and that is hard on a hen's body. And plus, the hatch rate can be really iffy. In fact, my neighbor had done this routine, and her hen only had 1 egg hatch, just 1 chick. It just seemed better all around. Go with the live chicks, which that way you can guarantee how many you end up with. Plus, if you get them from someone who sexed them, then you only have females, so it solves the rooster issue. And all you have to do when you get live chicks is just, after she's been sitting for like a week or 2, preferably closer to 2, then you wait until dark and you slip them underneath her, you take her eggs away, and when she wakes up in the morning, ta-da, she thinks her babies are here, and everyone lives happily ever after. Yeah, but if you listened to my last episode, I was searching high and low for brand new babies because they have to be brand new, like only a day or 2 old, in order to give them to her. Any older than that, it's a higher risk she's going to reject them. And I wanted to get chicks that had been sexed, so preferably just females. That's the plan anyway. I found the chicks, and I put them under the mom, just like I was supposed to. I was going down the checklist of best practices, doing exactly the way you're supposed to do it. And my mama said, no, thank you very much. This is not what she signed up for. She was not having it. And I tried to tell her, Mom, this is the best chance you have of being a mom. You are not sitting on fertilized eggs, lady. This is what we need to do. She wasn't having it. She was like, these are not my babies. which meant that now I'm raising these babies because she's not going to. And that's not how this was supposed to go. I didn't really even want more chickens. I just wanted this mom who was trying so hard to be a mom to get what she wanted. So now I got a bunch of babies on my hands that I got to raise my own self. A couple friends who'd been following my saga asked how it went because they knew when I was doing the midnight switch. And I told them, yeah, that was a no-go for Mom. She's not down. And they all said basically the same thing to me. They were like, did you wait until she'd been sitting for at least 2 weeks? I was like, yes, I did. But did you use brand new, like day-old chicks, maximum 2 days old? I said, yes, I did. But did you wait until dark to swap them out? Yes, I did. But did you do it early enough in the night that they'd have time to bond until morning? Yeah, I tried. Every question they asked me, I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what I did. I did all the right things. I did it by the book. Every best practice I implemented in this project. She doesn't want them. But after answering all their questions, I realized there was one thing I didn't do. And if you listened to last week's episode, you know what that was, because the thing I didn't do was activate the feelings of what I wanted first. I forgot to practice joy and relief and satisfaction. Because you know what I had activated here? Anxiety about finding the right chicks at the right time. I was nervous about swapping eggs for chicks in the middle of the night so Mom wouldn't notice. I wasn't confident that I was going to be able to tell whether she accepted them or not. I was like, is it going to be obvious? How will I know? I felt anxious about putting these brand new baby chicks' lives at risk. I mean, I'm responsible for them. Am I doing the right thing? Plus, I'd been feeling bad that my mama hen was trying so hard to be a mama, and I just felt so bad for her. I had a lot of unhelpful vibrations. I didn't do it with the vibrations of, yay, mama, that worked great, woohoo! Or, oh my gosh, look how cute and happy and healthy and fluffy everyone is. I did it with the vibration of, I hope this works. What if it doesn't? My poor mom. So all the questions my chicken savvy friends were asking me, they were not the important ones. And here's how I know. Because once I made peace with the fact that I was going to have to take care of all these babies myself, and that I was going to have to figure out how to break my broody hen, that's what you call it when you got to convince them to stop sitting on eggs trying to hatch them. Once I was like, okay, this is what it is now, let's get it handled. I did all the things you got to do to get the babies' new digs ready. Because since they weren't going to be with a mama hen, they needed a different setup for the long haul, so I'm getting all that done. I'll spare you the details, but I got all that put together with the big container thing and the shavings and the food and the water and the chick grits and the heat lamp and the shade cloth and the mesh wire lid to keep the cats and the predator birds out. I did all the stuff, and just as I was ready to reach in and start moving chicks into their new area, guess what happened? My mama hen jumped into the little pool where I'd been keeping all the chicks temporarily and started acting like a mama hen. Oh, she watched me do all that prep work, and then once I had it done, once I felt confident that I had a good setup for them. Can you feel how my vibration was moving here? Once I felt really good about the setup I had for them, I swapped out anxiety for satisfaction. I exchanged nervous energy with confident I got this energy. I stopped worrying for their future and started feeling like, hey, I think we got happily ever after on the horizon here. As soon as I started feeling better, my mama hen stepped in and said, okay, I'm the mom now. Leave my babies alone, you intruder. I'm like, you got to be kidding me, girl. We just went through all that for 2.5 days because I did it 2 nights, not just 1 night. My chicken friend said, hey, well, try it again the next night. So I did. For 2.5 days, I was trying to get this mama to take them. And as soon as I decide, okay, I guess it's going to be me, that's when she decides to step up and says, okay, give me the job. Oh my gosh. And it was against all the best practices you're supposed to use. I mean, it was like the middle of the day. She was fully awake. I didn't try to sneak anyone to her. She just kind of took over from me. It was all the exact, quote unquote, wrong conditions, wrong actions. And yet here she was saying yes. Woo-hoo! It was amazing. I loved it. At first, I was incredulous. I was like, oh my gosh, am I really seeing this? Is this what I think it is? I said, Chad, are you seeing this? It just felt like a miracle. This is exactly what we wanted. But I went from feeling incredulous to appreciation and some relief and feeling like, oh, it's working after all. She gets to have her babies. It's a miracle. I'm so happy for her. And then I remembered everyone who told me, you got to make sure she's for real accepting them. Here are the signs you're supposed to look out for that tell you those chicks are in danger. And I was looking for those signs. The sounds, the movements, the way the chicks were responding. I was well educated on the signs that there might be trouble. And so, of course, guess what I see? After like a blissful 20 minutes, I started to see a mama hen pecking at a chick to say, get out of here. Chad was looking at the exact same thing at the exact same time, and he said, no, that was a mama hen saying, get under here, like get under my wing. I need to keep you safe. I thought she was saying, who are you? I don't know you. You need to go. And he thought she was saying, come here where it's safe, little one. The world is not safe out there. Get under here. But I'll be honest, I did not trust that he had that right. I didn't really like the looks of it. I didn't know for sure what a mama hen who was accepting her babies looked like because I'd only been studying videos of mama hens rejecting their chicks. I didn't know. Chad has more experience with chickens and babies than I do, but I have more time logged on YouTube videos. Anyway, guess where my vibe went right back to? Nervous, unsure, questioning, worried. Ugh. But I did also have super strong desire. I had such strong desire for this mom to get what she wanted. And I did have a brief whiff of Mama Gets Her Babies, for those few minutes where it looked like, oh, this is it. This is a miracle. And I think that's where the next manifestation came from, because right then I got a text from my chick dealer who reached out because I had texted her to say that the mama didn't take the babies. I'd promised to keep her updated after she gave me the chicks. And so I'd said, yeah, it was a no-go. And she was writing to say that she had some fertilized eggs that were showing signs of activity. These were ready to go. Everyone else who had fertilized eggs available, she's got to sit on them for 3 weeks. None of those are going to work. Oh my gosh, my chick dealer had some that were ready to go right now. And she said I could have those if I wanted to put them under her since she wasn't taking the live chicks. Okay, so that did mean that I'm probably going to end up with a rooster or two, who knows. But it also means Mama might get to have her babies. So, you know what? I'll get my vibe right for roosters by the time that comes, right? Do we have faith in me? I got to get faith in myself. So I drove through literally torrential rain. We had severe thunderstorm. Okay, actually, Chad drove us through torrential rain and severe thunderstorms in order to pick up a couple eggs that could hatch at any time. So when we got home, this time I remembered to do the thing that no one told me to do in the YouTube videos or the Reddit threads or the chicken forum groups. I remembered to practice the outcome that I want first, to activate the vibration of success, just to get aligned with my desire before I take action. So I felt myself confident that I was doing everything I could for this girl, that I could be at peace with whatever happened, that whatever unfolded next, I could handle it, and that I was doing the right thing for her and for us, for these babies, for my flock. And I just felt so much appreciation for the marvels of Mother Nature and for people coming together to help animals thrive. I appreciated the support of everyone who cared, everyone who was trying to help. Instead of being frustrated by the conflicting advice, I felt the success of what I wanted. And I loved being partnered with my boyfriend through this process, who didn't even say I told you so once when we ended up going the fertilized egg route. And I trusted that I would know what to do when it was time to do anything. So I swapped out her eggs for these eggs, and I went to bed with peace and joy in my heart. Now all I got to do is stay tuned there more often than I tune into the vibrational mix of fear and confusion and disappointment or whatever else I got going on. Instead, lead with appreciation, enjoyment, delight. And just like that, I'm doing the thing that makes the real difference. That's all it takes. Because regardless of what happens, my vibration is tuned to good things. And when universe gets that instruction, well, you know what happens next. And I know I'm smart enough to not get attached to outcomes and to let nature do what nature does and to just honor my guidance, knowing I'm doing my best part by lining up and following inspiration, and that's where happily ever afters come from. And all these contrasts that pop up, they're not a problem. They're my practice. They're my chance to show my commitment to how I want to feel, to choosing myself. Am I going to let my negative gremlin interpretations of reality bring me down? Or am I going to choose something that feels better? And y'all, this is the routine no matter what we're playing with, whether it's jobs or finances or relationships or our physical health or our passion projects. Whatever you're interested in creating, let's remember the best practice that the expert checklist or that YouTube University is probably not going to remind us of. Unless you're listening to this podcast on YouTube, in which case, woohoo for finding the good stuff. But we know it doesn't matter what we do as much as it matters how we feel. We don't try to action our way into what we want. We feel our way there first. And then we trust that the actions that appeal to us most are the ones that are going to serve us best, and we enjoy the process. And if I know anything, it's that life's going to give me another chance to practice today. Like, gosh, even here with Olive, who's showing some signs that something's amiss. And my brain goes to, is it temporary? Is it fixable? Or is this a cue for a comfortable exit? And I remind myself, instead of Googling every symptom or asking AI or scheduling yet another vet opinion or administering any more medications, I'm going to practice appreciation for Olive instead of worry about Olive. And that's going to open up a whole new door. Instead of wondering whether I've got the right trainer for Sable, are we using the right tools? Are these the right methods for her to be her best self? I'm going to practice feeling so satisfied with who she's becoming, so much confidence in her ability to shine and my ability to do the right thing by her. I remember to practice what I want, not be dialed on what I don't want, not let gremlins spin fear stories of chaos and confusion and disappointment, but to use my incredible power of focus, the power of my attention, to bring to life what I want rather than what I fear. And all I got to do is change my mind, remember what I want, and practice how that feels, and then do what feels best. That's the checklist that's going to serve us best. Because I had it all right. I had the chicks the right age, the mama who sat for the right length of time, the technique and the timing for the secret swap, none of which worked when I was dialed on crappy stuff. And once I got myself to a better place, that girl plopped right down into the pool with those chicks and said, I'll take it from here. Till I let myself get back to another questionable vibration. And on this party goes. Look, I know you know this. I know it too. I talked about it last week. And yet, here I was again, acting like my best muggle self, trying to action my way with the best practices checklist into my dream come true instead of aligning my way there. But that's why we share our stories and immerse ourselves in the teachings and try again when we realize we got off track, because each time we do, we get a little better at it. And we're getting better at it every day, right? As we speak, so shall it be. Let's go create something fabulous today. Thanks for listening and happy manifesting.